Hey, what's up guys, I'm Xteria, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to play each comp that's currently played in the meta. For those that don't know, we are currently in patch 14.1b. Therefore, for those of you that think Annie's still broken, well, you're wrong. And I'm here to tell you what are the S tier comps and what is the trash tier comps. So here's how we're going to do our tier list, which is S, A, B, and trash. So we're going to go off by statistics of top 4 rates, or I'll just state my own opinion, saying this is why I think is S tier, or why I think is A tier. So we'll state which one is statistics and which one is my own opinion. Simple enough, right? Also, fair warning, this is literally the second day of the current patch, so metas can change. This is just what we know right now. If the meta changes drastically again, then I'll make a follow-up video after that. If not, we're just gonna keep it the way it is right now. And we're gonna go order from cost, and for this comp, it's gonna be our 1 cost reroll, starting off with Kog'Maw. It's pretty simple, it's just 6 Vanguard, so as much Vanguards as you can. 3-star all the low cost one, because you're gonna stay low level and rolling for a 3-star Kog'Maw. His best in slots to have a Rage Blade, Runaan's Hurricane, and a Death Blade. Secondary carry is gonna be either a Kindred. If you can't 3-star Kindred, then just switch it out for a Zeri is fine, and just put Static Shiv on them, mainly because Skarner and Kog'Maw are both boombots, and boombot does magic damage, so you're gonna need that magic resist shred on the board. But the funny thing is, Kog'Maw's AD, so you're gonna need even shroud on Skarner and whatever tank items you can put on him. Since he's gonna be your main tank, then just take items on him. Sounds pretty simple enough, right, for this comp? Well, on the tier list, how good is it? Funny enough, it's trash, because it does not do enough damage. What a good start to the tier list already. Next up we got is Seraphine Reroll, and this comp is actually pretty popular, been seeing it a lot, where you have 3-star Seraphine, 3-star Poppy, 3-star Shyvana. You just stay low level and just reroll till you 3-star both Seraphine and Poppy. If you don't 3-star Xayah, it's fine. She's just a secondary carry to hold magic resist shred item like Static Shiv and anti-heal item such as Morellicon or Red Buff. If she's not 3-star, just transfer the items over to Brand, it's fine. And if for Seraphine's best in slot, it would be a Shojin, Guardbreaker, and Jewel Gauntlet, so she can one-shot the whole board. Poppy, you need Gargoyle Stoneplate. Any tech items are fine, so she can last long enough for Seraphine to kill everything. And the whole board is just 8 techies. Basically about it. Where does this place into the tier list? Well, in my opinion, it's trash, but, you know, because of win rates, it's B tier. It's doable. The issue is you kind of need a 2-star Viego, which is hard to get, but other than that, it would be B tier. So it's winnable if the stars align for you to win. Next up we got is Shaco Reroll, and this one's also really easy like the Seraphine Reroll. You just gotta get Shaco 3, and the other units you can play as a secondary carry would be Vayne 3. If not, it's fine, because you can always play Senna as a secondary carry. And if you can, 3-star Adarius as your main tank. Since Shaco's AD, you're gonna need an even shroud on the board, so Shaco can do extra damage with his AD spell attack. Best in slot items would be a Hodge, IE, and an even shroud, so he doesn't die as easy. Just throw all the Slayers on the board with 3 Syndicate, which is Darius and Braum. Basically about it. Now on the tier list, how good is it? Well, surprisingly enough, it's actually A tier. The win rate is actually pretty decent for this comp, but I feel like the reason why is because you have to high roll maybe a level 2 Shaco, or you have to start with maybe 4 or 5 Shacos at the beginning. So therefore you can 3-star him easier and tempo to fast level 8 or 9 and win the game off that way. The tip I can give you about this comp is do not force it when he's 1-star, because he needs stacks at the beginning, so you have to 2-star him with a decent item for him to get kills with. If not, he's gonna be trash for you in the end. Next up we got is Vi, specifically the hero augment. If you don't, she's gonna be trash. So therefore, the way how you play it with the augment would be Vi 3, her best in slot is Bloodthirster, Titans, and Sterex Gauge. Your main tank's gonna be either Jarvan or Leona, depending which one is level 2 at the time. If Leona's not level 2, then Jarvan will be your tank. If not, it'll be Leona. Pretty simple. So since they're both gonna be AD, your main carries, Vi and Vayne, you're gonna need an even shroud. Speaking of Vayne, the reason why this comp works is because Vayne is broken. If it wasn't for that, then Vi wouldn't be strong enough in general. Doesn't mean that she doesn't do a lot of damage, it's just she's a single target frontline unit that kind of needs some help in the backline. And you can 3-star the other Vanguard units such as Sylas and Rhaast, because Vi is a Vanguard, so the more Vanguards you have on the board, the tankier she gets. When you hit level 8, just throw out a Garen and turn Vi into a Slayer, or you could turn Vayne into a Vanguard. Either one works. So what is Vi hero augment place on a tier list? Well, it's mid. It's like A tier. The only reason why it's doable, like I said, because of Vayne Reroll. Next up, we got probably one of the most powerful openers, which is Jhin Nitro Reroll. How you play this comp is you want to start off with Nitro, get your stacks off the beginning, but unlike 1-cost rerolling, this is a 2-cost comp, so therefore you want to hit fast 6 and roll for Jhin. On the way, you can probably 3-star Kindred, a Nidalee, and if you want to, maybe in a Fury or a Jax instead of Sejuani. Hopefully you can 3-star Shyvana as your main tank, and simple enough for tank items, it's just anti-heal with armor break item. Redemption is very good because you gain damage reduction. Nidalee can hold any of the AP items or Thieves Gloves is fine. This is technically her best in slot here. And for Jhin, his best in slot is to have a Shojin, IE, and a Pulse Fire Stabilizer. If you happen to have a tank Exotech item, then Guardbreaker would be fine, and just throw the tank Exotech item on either Sejuani or Jax, that's okay. And as you see here, it's 7 units total, so when you hit level 7, you can throw out Elise, or hit level 8 to throw out 5 Exotech, either one is up to you. The other best Exotech items you can put on Jhin would be Hyper Fangs, is his second highest win rate item, then it goes to Flux Capacitator, which is his third highest win rate item, and the other item, Hollow Bow, is trash. But if you want to use it, go for it. I personally do not want to use it because it's an AP item, but the active is great. The only issue is, Jhin is not an AP unit, so that's the reason why the AP stats is not useful. So what is Zed Nitro on the tier list? Well, it's actually pretty good, so I'll say A tier. The only thing stopping him is that the front line isn't too strong, since you have a Shyvana, and Shyvana, to be honest, in my opinion, she's kind of trash, but for the most part, she's alright. Next up we got here is LeBlanc Reroll, and only play this comp if you get the artifact item Mana Zane. If you don't, this comp is trash. So don't even try to play it without this item. So to play this comp, it's pretty simple. The positioning doesn't really matter because you're playing Street Demon, but it's always 5 Strategist. So try to max out as much as you can. And you 3-star Echo and LeBlanc at level 6. Once you 3-star them, hit level 8, look for Kuboko and a Samira. At the time, you can use Mundo instead because you probably won't be able to find the Ziggs. So you can use a Mundo to activate the Street Demon, and the rest of the units you see here, just use them. Simple enough. So what is it in the tier list? Well, the win rate isn't too high, so it's okay. Like, she's B tier. If you get Mana Zane, it's doable. I've seen someone win with it. Doesn't mean it's good though, but you can win with it. Next up we got is Rhaast, specifically the hero augment. Again, like Vi, if you don't get the augment, he's trash. So therefore, in order to play him, you have to click on the hero augment. His best in slot items that have a Bloodthirster, IE, and a Hodge, basically the same items as Zed, because as much life steal as they can get, they can literally just delete everything while getting back full health with one ability. Your secondary carry is going to be a Vayne, since they're both 2 cost, and this board can easily play 4 Slayer with 6 Divinicorp. Technically it's 5 if you don't have Emblem on Zed, so it's just as much Divinicorps you can put on the board, and if you can put in 4 Slayers in the end. Basically about it. It's pretty simple. Just gotta be careful in the mid game because it's kind of glass cannon, meaning you're gonna be low on tank but high on damage. So hopefully whoever you're going against is pretty squishy and Rhaast can just one-shot everything. On top of that, I've seen a lot of people, when they pick this augment, they cannot hit a Rhaast 3 for their life. They either hit him as like late stage 4 or stage 5, and by then they're probably around like 2 hits. So when you pick this augment, just be careful because 3-starring Rhaast isn't easy since he's kind of contested, but if you do 3-star him, it's an easy first. So with that said, where is he on the tier list? Well, since he's super strong in the current meta with high amounts of damage, he belongs in the S tier. And for whatever reason, every time I pick this augment, is what I said earlier, I can't 3-star him for the life of me, so I don't pick it. But he's super strong. Next up we got is one of my favorite reroll comps, which is Twisted Fate. The only thing that takes quote-unquote skill is getting the double Rage Blades, since it's heavily contested, so that means you have to be lucky with the items, which is the quote-unquote skillful part. Your main tank is going to be Darius, but in all honesty, he's kind of trash. I prefer Skarner as the main tank, but because you're going to play 5 Syndicate in the end, Darius would be the better tank. Most of the time for me to win the game, I would hit level 8 and probably 3-star Braum from there, transfer the take items over, and Braum will stall long enough for TF to one-shot everything. The thing notable about this comp is you're going to need a static shiv on your Kog'Maw. If your Kog'Maw isn't 3-star, and your Skarner isn't 3-star, you can switch him out for better units. Like Skarner, you can switch him out for either Leona for a better tank, or Rhaast to get that extra armor and magic resist, which does help a lot by the way. And then for Kog'Maw's case, you can switch him out for Zeri. Then level 9, if you can hit it, because most of the time when I play this comp, I'm stuck level 8, you just throw out an Aurora so you can have plus 2 units on the board. So other than that, if you want to play the base level 6 board, it's just TF, Kog'Maw, and all the frontline units. Shaco and MF, you just add them over time after your 3-star TF. Pretty simple. So where is he on the tier list? Well, because he's my favorite comp, I want to put him in the S tier, but sometimes I lose with him, and I see a lot of people lose with him too, so therefore I'll say he's A tier. Even though his win rate statistics is very high, I feel like it's kind of hard to win just due to because you need double Rage Blade. So it makes sense to me to say he's A tier. Next up we got is Vayne Reroll, and same thing like TF, you're gonna have to build double Rage Blade on Vayne, but The other downside from Vayne to TF is you have to build a Rune Hurricane as well for the extra damage on the board from her. If you have these perfect BIS items, she would actually destroy everything. And your main tank is gonna be a Jarvan. Then you just throw in 4 Vanguard with Leona, Rhaast, and Silas. You can trade out Rhaast for Braum for better units if you want to. I prefer Rhaast just for the Divinicorp. And your secondary carry could be a Senna or Zed, depending what items you have. And if you 3-star Senna, that's great. When you hit level 8, you just throw Renekton. That's basically about it. I do have a video about this comp, so if you want to check it out, look for this video or it'll be in the description down below. With all that thing said, what is she on the tier list? Well, same thing like TF, because it's super hard to get her items and you have to get perfect items, she'll be A tier. Even though her win rate is super high, the problem is you're not going to consistently build the same items over and over every game unless you know your spots. So win rate aside, these two comps are practically my own opinion saying they're A tier, but statistics say they're S tier. So I'm just letting you guys know, they are technically broken. It's just in my eyes, they're just hard to play, since they're heavily contested as well. Next up we got is Veigar. Specifically, you need the augment, which is Cower Weaklings. If you don't get this augment, Veigar is trash. So if you do get this augment, the way to reroll him is to have a Veigar 3 with the Shyvana 3 and Poppy as your main tank level 3. Just be careful when you throw in Cyber Boss because you want to put the Cyber Boss buff on Veigar. The way to do that is he should be the last unit on the board, then he becomes big, do more damage with extra HP. To play this comp at level 6 is essentially just Veigar with 4 techies and 4 bastions to hold off until you can hit level 8. So after your 3-star Veigar, just fast 8 and look for Kuboko and Ziggs, so you can have 4 Cyber Boss on the board, and Viego, hopefully you can get him by then as well. If not, you can use whatever techie unit you have. And as you see here, there's only 3 bastions at level 8, so when you hit level 9, you can throw in 4 bastions, so you can have extra tank on the board. Renekton is just a very good +1 since he gives you attack speed from Divinicorp, so it can help Veigar cast more and more. Basically about it. So where does this put Veigar in the tier list? Well, I've seen a lot of people been winning with this comp, so therefore I'll say he is A tier. Not really S tier, since he can easily die, since the way how this unit works, I think his interaction is horrible, so if it wasn't for that, he'd probably be S tier. But because the way how they design these units, I'll say he's A tier. Next up we got is Fiddlesticks, but you have to play Fiddlesticks with a Blight and Jewel or a Bruiser emblem. If not, he's trash. And this comp is a reroll comp. So essentially you hit level 7, you want a 3-star Fiddlesticks and Mordekaiser, throw out all the bruisers you can, and to make this comp S tier, you need a Blight and Jeweled. To make it even better, you're gonna need a Bruiser emblem so you can play at level 8 for Boombot. If not, if you don't have Bruiser emblem, then you're gonna have to play 4 Boombots at level 9. But other than that, the tech is either have 4 Boombot on the board for Fiddlesticks to one-shot, so that's with Bruiser emblem to have 4 Boombots, or you need Blight and Jewel so he can one-shot everything before he can die. So that's the concept of this comp. Pretty simple. So what does it put him on a tier list? Well, like I said, you need either Blight and Jewel or the Bruiser emblem for the high amounts of damage he can do. Therefore, he will be S tier with specifically Blight and Jeweled. If you get Bruiser emblem, he's technically A tier, and then without it, he's trash. Next up we got is Jinx Reroll. The way how this comp works is you need all Street Demon, so level 7, since you're rerolling for 3 cost units, reroll Rengar 3 and Jinx 3, so you have 7 Street Demon by then. And then when you hit level 8, just throw out Mordekaiser because you can synergize with Brand for Techie, and you can also synergize Mundo for Bruiser. Hopefully you can find the Samira at level 8 as well, so you just trade out the Xayah for the Samira, and basically the rest is history. The main things you want to note here is to BIS Rengar, and technically these are BIS Jinx items for whatever reason, and just super tank your Nico. So where does this put this on the tier list? Well, it's trash. I don't know why people keep playing this. You guys gotta stop it. Like, there is that like 1 in like every like 50 games I've seen it win, but other than that, it doesn't win. Here's a better way of using Rengar. So in this Rengar Reroll comp, you want to play all executioners with the same items as the Jinx Reroll comp. So when you hit level 7, reroll for Rengar, and since Rengar rather be with his bro than with Jinx, you get Varus. So these two are very strong together since they synergize with one another, with Varus stunning them, and he's also AP, while Rengar is an AD unit that can jump to the backline. While Rengar is hitting people in the backline, Varus' ability can also hit the backline so Rengar can execute. So these two are just really strong together. And the rest of the comp is to have, because you need Street Demon, since Rengar is a Street Demon, Nico and Echo. So you can get that Street Demon on the board, and also you get Strategist on the board to make Rengar also tank you a little bit. Graves will be your item holder at level 6, so you want to roll for Graves 2 at 6, so you can tempo to level 7, and honestly, leftover items on Graves is fine, even Last Whisper is fine, or just these gloves, it's just whatever, doesn't really matter. And then at level 8, because Veigar is a Golden Ox, you can throw him in, or you could throw in Alistair at the beginning to have that Golden Ox to keep Graves doing a little bit of extra damage. To make this comp better, you should get an Executioner emblem, but if you don't get it, then you're gonna have to fast 8 or 9, look for Urgots, so you can win the game off 5 Executioner, because you can't win with 4. So where does it put Rengar on the tier list? Well, we might say it could be trash, because, you know, with Jinx Reroll is trash, but funny enough, he's actually S tier. He's so strong in the current meta that he could just delete anything, since there's nothing stopping him in the current patch. Next up we got is one of the most broken comps before the B patch came in, which is Annie's Strategist. Most of us already know how to play this comp already by now. It's just Annie with mana items, Smera with 80 items. If you get a Koboko, just throw tank items on him. Hopefully you do hit him at level 8, because if you do, you technically top 4, yada yada yada. So all of us already know. So where does it put this on the tier list currently? Well, funny enough, it's trash, because they nerfed literally everything in this comp. So what they nerfed is Annie is a lot weaker now. They also nerfed Samira, and they triple nerfed Kobuko for who knows what reason, but I understand that Kobuko needed a nerf, but this is a bit much. So yeah, in the end, this comp is just trash. Next up, we got one of the most favorite comp in PvEs, which is Aphelios Marksmen with Vanguard. As the title says, it's pretty simple. It's just 4 Vanguards with 4 Marksmen. For Aphelios, in order for him to be strong, you need double Gwynsu's Rage Blade. And to heal the board, you need Gunblade, because his damage is a little low. So your high damage unit is going to be Xayah, with her having a Shojin, i.e. +1, like Last Whisper. Then you're main taking your Leona, and then just fill in the synergies with the rest of the units. J4 is really notable because you get Golden Ox with Aphelios. Silas and Leona is Anima Squad with Xayah. Instead of Rhaast, you can use a Braum, it's fine as well. But I prefer Rhaast because you get that Divinicorp with armor and magic resist on the board. You're going to need that extra defense because it helps a lot. Jhin is just a good marksman in general because, you know, he breaks armor with his ability. Jinx is just Jinx. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. She's bad, but you're gonna need that for marksman either way. So where's this put this on the tier list? Well, this comp is mid. It's whatever. Like, it can win, it cannot win. Most of the time it loses, but the off chance you might be able to win with it because you're probably like win streaking at the beginning and you pivot into this comp and you probably might get at least like top 3, top 2. Unless you're lucky enough, you might get first place. But for the most part, it's in the B tier. Next up, we got is a better version of playing any sort of street demons or strategist. And the way how you do it is using brand. So the way how you play this comp is just full street demon. To make this comp even stronger, you're gonna need an emblem. If you don't, you can use other units. If you understand how to play this comp more in detail, I will have a video for this soon explaining how to play this comp in every way with items, augments, and units you can interchange with. So you should subscribe to get that notification of when this video comes out. But I'm just gonna explain for this board for now because I don't want this video being over 20 minutes. Essentially, it's just brand with crit items, and Ziggs with an attack speed item like Nashor's is very good, or Static is fine. Relicon is actually one of his best items because he hits the whole board. If not, Jewel Gauntlet helps him one-shot the board. The thing to note here is because you have Cyber Boss, don't Cyber Boss Kobuko because his unit's kinda bad now. CC is great, it's just he wasn't broken as he was in the last patch. So you want Ziggs to one-shot with the Cyber Boss. And then whatever 80 items you have left over, just throw it on Samira, and hopefully you have a Shred item like Static Shiv or Onyx Spark on the board, just throw it on Nico. Nico is a really great tank, get her level 2, she's super strong. The problem with this board is super expensive. You're gonna need lots of money. But with the power alone, I would say this comp is in the A tier, since Brand can basically one-shot. I do also have a gameplay video of how my 1-star brand was one-shotting everything, so if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. Next up, we got is Misfortune with Dynamos and Syndicate. In all honesty, 5 Syndicate is actually super strong in the meta currently. So in order to play this comp, you're gonna have to fast 8 and use all these units you see here. In order to cap this comp, you kind of have to hit either level 9 to throw out 4 Dynamo, or you have a Syndicate or Dynamo emblem. Because most of your gold, you're gonna be spending at level 8, and it's gonna be hard to hit level 9 afterwards. So I would advise, if you want to play this comp, you should get one of the spats. If not, and you still play this comp at level 8, just try to stay alive as long as you can to hit level 9 to throw out that 4 Dynamo, because 5 Syndicate is more important, so Misfortune could just one-shot everything. Other than that, this comp would be in around the B tier, because you're gonna need the emblems, you kind of have to hit 9 to finish this comp, and MF, personally to me, I feel like she's not strong enough. Even though the win rate would say she's technically A tier, I haven't seen too much success on this unit, but she does do the job really well. On top of that, Aurora 2 is just so strong in general. So that's the reason why most people win games, is because Aurora 2 is just one-shotting everything. Next up we got is one of my favorite comps as well, which is Xayah Anima Squad. This comp is very simple. It's just all Anima Squad needs on the board with a Renekton at level 9. I do have a video covering how to play this comp, so if you want more details about this comp, you can check this video out in the description below, or you can just find it in my YouTube channel. But yeah, essentially it's just 7 Anima with the highlight unit Jhin, because he's both Marksman and Dynamo for Aurora and Xayah. Other than that, you just throw Renekton because he's OP. You also get Bastion of Laui. They did nerf this comp a little bit, so for the tier list sake, it was an S tier, but now the win rate is pretty low, is in the B tier, because in order to win with this comp now, you kind of need to hit an Aurora 2 in order to be strong. And because you're playing a lot of weak units in this comp, those units feel really weak now since the synergy itself is not strong anymore. But I've been seeing a lot of people have success with this comp still, because if you get any of the Anima Squad augments or even emblem, it does accelerate your gameplay, and on top of that, you do a lot of damage with it. But overall for win rate is B tier. In my heart, it'll be A tier. Next up we got is Zed Divinicorp, and this comp is actually pretty cool. I actually never got to play it yet because for whatever reason, I never get the opener for it, and also I can never get BT start. But how you play this comp essentially is all the Divinicorps you could fit in with 4 Slayers. The 4 Slayers you would use would be a Mundo, because he's a bruiser with Gragas. You throw in a J4, also Vanguard with Rhaast, and then Senna is a Divinicorp as well, so you can fit in 4 Slayers. If you get Emblem and don't have a Garen yet, then you're gonna have to put Emblem on Zed first until you hit level 8, or maybe you get lucky at 7, you find a Garen. Then after 2 rounds after having Garen out, you have to wait for the mod, put the mod Divinicorp on Zed, and you can pop out the emblem, put it on Garen afterwards. That's the tech of this comp. By the way, in order to play this comp, you do need to pick up an emblem, so if you get it through augments or carousel, that's great. That's also the main reason why I can't play this comp most of the time, because I never start with the Divinicorp emblem. Basically about it, the Zed will just destroy everything because he has a lot of stats. With that being said, on the tier list, he will be in the A tier, because he destroys the backlines really well. So he will kill everyone's carries before he can die. Next up we got is Zed Cypher, and in order to play this comp, you kind of need the augment Hostile Takeover, because what this does is you can gain extra bonus damage from this augment, and on top of that, you gain a lot more stacks. So you can use this augment to win streak really well with, or you can lose streaks though, either one is fine. So any sort of cash out is good cash out. Just try to throw out ciphers as much as you can, and try to stack as much as you can. Cash out whenever you need to, and you play this board. So your early game board is going to be whatever with ciphers, so it's going to be kind of messy. And then in the end, at level 8, you can reroll for Galio and Draven 3. If not, you can fast 9, because Zed will literally just one-shot everything when you cash out Cypher. And on top of that, you have a secondary carry 2 here, which is going to be Zeri. And Zeri's best Exotech item is Flux Capacitator. And the other Exotech items that's good on Zeri is like Pulse Stabilizer or Hyper Fangs. And like I said earlier, this Hexbow is trash, so don't use this on Zeri unless you need to. The rest of the units is basically just full Bastions with Sejuani Jax, also gives Exotech, and Renekton because he's good. So what does this comp puts us in? Well, in all honesty, we need its own separate category, because it's just that broken in the God tier category. So if you see this augment, just click it and you would probably top 4 immediately. Next up we got is Zeri Nitro. The way how you play this comp is you start off with Nitro, and you just tempo your way to fast 8. Meaning just play your strongest board and then level as fast as you can. Like the last slide, the best Zeri item is Flux Capacitator, Pulse Stabilizer, or Hyper Fangs. And you know, like I said again, this item of Hexbow is trash. So if you have to use it, feel free to put it on Zeri. If not, you can just throw it on Jhin and just use IE or Hextech Gunblade on Zeri, it's fine. The full board is just 3 Exotech, would be Sejuani with Jhin and Zeri. Unless you want to play for 5 Exotech, which is what I do a lot, you don't have to use Galio, just use Jax. And you throw in a Mordekaiser, because you also get Techie with Shyvana. But in order to fit that, you either need an emblem, like Exotech emblem at level 8 with Renekton, or you're gonna need to hit level 9 to throw out that Mordekaiser. Other than that, the rest of the units kind of synergize together, because Elise is also Dynamo with Jhin, and you also get Marksmen and Rapid Fire for Zeri and Jhin. The reason why this positioning is kind of important is because Zeri, her ability, she zooms around back and forth, you need more spaces, so Kindred up here is fine. For Sejuani Exotech items, before I forget, this is the best tank item, which is Repulsor Lantern. It's one of her highest win rate items. Second to that would be Corrupted Chassis. This item is actually really good on Mordekaiser as well, but it's also pretty decent on Sedge. In order to max out on this item, you have to build a Protector's Vow. In general, it's really good on Sejuani, but having this item with this Exotech item will improve your Protector's Vow even more. And then after that, it's gonna be a Cyber Coil. Cyber Coil is not too good, but you know, it's a free tank item, why not? So on a tier list, what does this put this? Well, it's gonna be in the S tier. If you have the right Exotech items, is S. If not, it will be like A to B tier. Nitro is just super strong altogether, so in the end, it's gonna be S tier no matter what anyways. So yeah, next up we got this clutter of a mess, Zeri Exotech. I will cover a video about this later after I post like the 2 other comps I was planning to be doing. But essentially to play this comp is you have to pick either one of the augments, which is Trial Run, Cyber Deck, or even Exotech Crest. The reason why is because you have to play 7 Exotech with this comp, and it depends on the items. So for Zeri items, I'm not going to repeat them again. These are the best ones. And for Sejuani, these are the best ones. If you want to see a god tier pool of items, it's going to be Flux Capacitator with a Pulse Stabilizer, which is really hard to find with these two together. And on top of that, with the best Sejuani item here, which is Repulsor Lantern, your board will be super strong. If not, it probably might be like one of these items, and then like 2 tank items on Seg is also fine. But for the most part, you have to have at least one of them, which is these 2 here, to be super strong. The whole board is just all Exotech with a Renekton, and then a level 9, just throwing 4 Bastions. The Golem here is the augment of Trial Run, and this is actually really OP because the Golem also gains the Exotech items. If not, you can do Cyber Deck, just gain a lot of item augments because you put 2 items on the unit, that's a Exotech unit, and they gain an Exotech item on top of that, so make your board super strong. Yeah, so just remember to pick one of these augments in order to play this comp. If you don't have one of these augments, you can't play 7 Exotech efficiently. So this puts this comp into the S tier, because if you have those conditions set up and the stars align for you to get them, you will probably win the game with it. And that is all the comps that we're currently playing in patch 14.1b. The only thing I would say is personal about this tier list would be statistically they are S tier, but like I listed earlier, the reason why I say the A tier is due to because it's kind of hard to win with them since their front line is kind of weak for one, and 2, you need double Gwynsu's Rage Blade. Same thing with Aphelios. He doesn't do enough damage, so therefore he's B tier. Even with double Gwynsu's, Vayne and TF just outdamage him. Other than that, the big thing to note, you see this augment, just take it, you win game. So if you have any questions about any of the comps, I could try to answer to the best of my capabilities on that. If you want to see certain comps become a video, just let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try to make them as soon as I can. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.